Hi, I'm Beverly Hosford, the NFPT, National Federation of Professional Trainers, blog editor and publisher. We're a personal training certification and continuing education company. NFPT is based in Indiana, and I live and work in Montana. And my guest today is, where are you today, Carol?
In West Orange, New Jersey.
West Orange, New Jersey. That's awesome. So Carol Michaels, who I have here with me, has her MBA. She's certified through the American Council on Exercise and the ACSM, American College of Sports Medicine. She's the founder of Recovery Fitness, which is an exercise program developed to improve the recovery from cancer surgery, treatments, and osteoporosis. Very awesome. She's worked with physicians and other health professionals to develop a recovery fitness program, which is currently offered in West Orange, New Jersey at her studio. It's also offered at hospitals and various facilities. Carol is an award-winning exercise specialist and consultant and is on the board of numerous organizations. She received her degree from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. East Coast girl, just like me. Carol is a speaker for corporate wellness programs, fitness organizations, community events, and health-related organizations on fitness and health issues. She appears on radio and television programs. She's on Skype with me today. And she's also the author of Exercises for Cancer Survivors and is published in numerous magazines, newsletters, blogs like ours, NFPT, and medical journals. Carol developed and produced DVDs and created the Cancer Specialist Recovery course in partnership with us, the NFPT. She also has a book and DVDs that can be found on her website, www.carolmichaelsfitness.com. Aside from that, American Council on Exercise and Life Fitness recognized her as a trainer to watch in 2011. Personal Fitness Professional honored her as the 2012 PFP Trainer of the Year, and Carol was the Idea Fitness 2016 Personal Trainer of the Year. So if you haven't gotten a reason to listen to this interview, now there are plenty. Carol is very accomplished in our industry, and that's why I wanted to chat with her today to find out how she got to where she is and to get some insight for all of us. So Carol, your career is extraordinary. Tell us what your work week looks like. What are you doing and who are you with?
First of all, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with me today. Every day is so different. For example, today I started at 6 a.m. I had some somewhat healthy personal training clients, then moved on to some group fitness classes. Half of my day is spent with a somewhat healthy population, age 45 and older. I do one-on-one training and small group training, which has been very, very popular. The other half of my day is spent in medical fitness, working with people with various medical issues. I do a lot of post-rehab work and work with people recovering from cancer and osteoporosis. Those are my main areas of expertise. So every day is different. Some days I am working in my studio in West Orange, New Jersey. I also have numerous cancer exercise programs at different facilities and hospitals throughout New Jersey. I have also mentored and trained other cancer exercise trainers who are also working at facilities throughout New Jersey as well. And, when I'm not working, I try to get out for some tennis, golf, paddle tennis. And when I'm not doing that, I'm home writing blogs. I have an active blog. I blog for NFPT and other organizations. I also write for various magazines and work on presentations, which I do throughout the United States. So it's a busy day.
Yeah, I'll say. And are your clients on a regular schedule with you? Do they come the same time every week?
Well, I would say the ones that are fairly healthy do maintain a regular schedule for the most part. When you're working with someone that has a medical condition, their health changes day by day. So as a personal trainer, you have to understand that and be very flexible in your scheduling. So, that's one thing you have to really be aware of. When I do small group training for people with osteoporosis, cancer, or other medical conditions, what's nice about creating a small group is, for example, if there's a group of 4 people, let's say one day someone has a very high fatigue level or some additional situation, and if they don't show up, at least you have the rest of the group to work with. So it's a very good strategy to work with as a personal trainer, working with people with various medical conditions.
Ooh, I love that, the small group idea. That's great.
It really works well. And what I try to do is match people up not only with the medical condition, but with the specific operation. And this way they form a sense of camaraderie, they learn from each other. And, the motivation of the social component of fitness is very strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you have a name for each of the groups that you do group training with? Do they have
The general program name is Recovery Fitness, but I usually would just name the group according to what the situation is. It could be small group training for osteoporosis, or if someone has cancer, for the type of cancer or the type of reconstruction that they might have.
That's good. And people seem receptive to that placing themselves in the appropriate group with the appropriate name.
They do like that. They also like the fact that they're able to meet people. They meet people with the same goals. If someone has lost their hair due to cancer treatments, it's a place that they feel comfortable exercising without their wig. So it's a very good way of working with people with medical issues.
That's great. So when you created your cancer recovery course for NFPT, how did that happen? I actually don't even know the story.
Well, it's a long story, and I'll try to keep it short. So it really starts about 20 or 25 years ago when I started in personal training. So I actually started as my first career was as a corporate bond trader, and I went from trader to trainer. And I always wanted to be involved in the health field. That really, I knew, would give me a sense of feeling good about my work and good sense of satisfaction. So when I started in personal training, I worked with cancer survivors, and so many people in my immediate family, friends, clients did have cancer. I saw how exercise helped the recovery process. I then worked with physicians and other health professionals to create my program that I call Recovery Fitness. And then the most difficult thing was once I established that this was something that could really help, because keep in mind, about 20 years ago, people were told to go home and rest. And that only led to greater fatigue, frozen shoulder, and other problems. So when I determined that this was something that really needs to be brought out to other cancer patients, I had to really work very hard to get the attention of hospitals and other oncologists and heads of hospitals to see if they would allow me to bring this program to their hospital, because at that time there was nothing. So finally, I did break into one hospital with a lot of hard work and many phone calls, and they allowed me to bring the program to the hospital. We kept records. We did an informal study. We kept records of the patient's range of motion, flexibility, emotional improvement, and we had excellent results. We were then, due to those good results, able to get grants to continue the program and then bring it to other hospitals and facilities in the area. Because we then saw exercise really helps the recovery process, I then said, well, let me get this out to the cancer survivor. I wrote a book, Exercises for Cancer Survivors. And as years went on, more and more people became cancer survivors. In fact, that number is only going to increase due to early detection, some of the improvements of medication and treatments for some cancers. So we'll have even more and more cancer survivors. So it's going to be more important than ever for fitness professionals to be comfortable working with cancer survivors, and that really goes for almost any other condition. So I was so honored to be able to partner with the NFPT to allow me to bring this program to more trainers so they could help more people.
That's great. So you took the program that you already created and fused it into the NFPT platform.
That's correct, yes.
Gotcha. That's great. So Exercise is Medicine is a global health initiative managed by the American College of Sports Medicine. It's focused to encourage primary care physicians and other healthcare providers to include physical activity when designing treatment plans for patients and referring their patients to credentialed exercise programs. What are your thoughts about the intersection of fitness and medicine? I'm sure you must have some.
I certainly do. I've been pushing for this and an advocate for this for decades. This is so important. And, right now, the way our medical system is, we need to make a lot of changes. A lot of times doctors just have 15 minutes due to insurance and other reasons to work with their patients. It's not enough. There must be a relationship between the medical profession and fitness professionals. And I don't know what speaks to that more than our obesity rate. I think we're up to about 30 or 40% of Americans are obese. And that is just going to completely break the healthcare system. Our hospitals are already overcrowded. It's a burden on the country. So this has to happen. I would love to see physicians and other medical professionals developing relationships with personal trainers, nutritionists, and referring them. It's not enough just to tell someone to go ahead and walk. Walking is great, and I recommend that also, but you have to have a program that includes strength training, posture, balance, and this is not happening. And in an ideal world, perhaps there would be some accountability. Not only would the physician recommend the personal trainer, but there would be some way to make sure there was some accountability and follow-up. So I am definitely all for that program. I've been really, in my own small way, trying to push and advocate for it, and I would love to see this happen.
Yeah, I agree. When I got certified and got my degree, I was like, someday the medical field and the fitness field need to come together. And I always believed that it was possible, but I think we still have a lot of work to do. So how do you think that people like you and I or personal trainers could help with this fusion that's happening?
Well, I think if you can actually prove how helpful this is. So one thing that I wound up doing in one of the hospitals that I worked at is, luckily they did give me a very small office, and I was able to actually work with the oncologist, the radiologist, the lymphedema specialist, the physical therapist, and we would be able to meet on a regular basis and discuss the individual patient, because if there is an exercise program that the patient is going to 2 times a week, that personal trainer or that exercise specialist, that fitness professional is going to notice a lot that the oncologist isn't going to see. If I'm seeing someone 2 days a week, I'll obviously see if someone has poor balance, poor posture, something that needs to be called to the attention of the physician. So I think that when more hospitals and physicians see that this team approach will give a better outcome to the patient and have them have less hospital visits, less hospital stay, that could be helpful. But I'm sure it's going to take time, and I think we're all going to have to work very hard to develop relationships with physicians and make sure they understand and try to see if there's someone in their practice that can be a point person for helping make this connection.
Yeah, it seems like the responsibility is all on us, really, on the fitness professionals, doesn't it? Or do you agree with that?
Yes, at this point, I think I do agree with that, and there are certainly some physicians that are not happy with the system. They tell me this is not what they thought medicine would be like when they got into it. Some really do want to see this connection. They want their patients to get better. They don't want to just keep prescribing medicine and medicine. They want to prescribe exercise and have some follow through. And they do know that if exercise was a drug, it would be a blockbuster seller because it's so important and so effective.
Yeah, but they don't have the time, and there's so many personal trainers out there. I mean, how do you even begin? So I think if you're an educated personal trainer and you're specializing in a population like yourself, you could approach a doctor or a medical team probably more effectively than someone maybe who doesn't have any knowledge about a population.
That's absolutely right. That's why it's so important to really be knowledgeable about what you will be saying when you do. If you are so lucky and work hard enough to even get that appointment with the physician, you better be prepared to make a good impression in the 5 minutes you might get.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good point. Practice your elevator pitch, or what they call it, where you only have an elevator ride to sell them. So,
very true.
So what is the value of working with a specialized population then? We've already kind of touched on it, but how can we really drive that home for personal trainers?
Well, the value to me, the value to anyone who's a personal trainer that does decide to specialize in a special population, the value is tremendous. The satisfaction that you will get by seeing someone come into you so deconditioned, with the right exercise, you can help decrease pain, decrease numbness, decrease so many side effects from various disease that, you really end the day feeling really great. So there's a lot of value to you as a personal trainer. And of course, to your client that you're working with, because of perhaps all your studies, your expertise, your credentials, taking continuing education courses in the areas that they need help in, they know they'll feel comfortable that they're working with someone who's studied the particular problem that they have. They'll feel comfortable, and they will hopefully get better and feel great and get good results.
Yeah, absolutely. So would you say that perhaps the results are a little more obvious when you're working with a special population than, say, if you're working with just the average person? Or what do you notice with that, the difference between the two?
I would say that the results that you get with a special population are very, very, very obvious. So, for example, when someone comes into you, and I'll just concentrate on breast cancer because it's so common, and so many trainers will deal with someone who has breast cancer. 1 out of every 8 women gets it, and men do too. So, when someone comes into you, perhaps after a mastectomy, and they have poor range of motion, they can't move their arm, they have pain, numbness, they might have neuropathy and a whole load of other symptoms. And by doing the right exercises, in perhaps 6 to 8 weeks, you can actually see tremendous improvements. You'll see range of motion go perhaps from 20% flexion to 180% shoulder flexion. So you can really document and see huge results. And you know that if the person is working with you a few times a week, most likely they will also be decreasing the chance of getting other side effects such as lymphedema. Now, when you're working with a healthy population, of course, so much is up to the person and what they're eating. And a lot of people come in for weight loss, and they can work with you every day for 5 hours a day. But if they don't change their eating habits, which you can't necessarily be within 24 hours to control, you might not always get the results you want, not right away. It could be a little more challenging.
Great. Thanks for clarifying that, because I don't think I ever worked with any special populations like you have, so it's nice to hear that yeah, trainers that are looking to make a difference, it could really be the way to go. And so that being said, do you recommend that trainers specialize or stay broad in their skill set? Because I hear both schools of thought when it comes to marketing and business.
Right, right. I would say that both are very important. I think as a new trainer, it's good to stay broad. You learn and take all the courses, continuing education that you can, keep reading, learning. You must know your anatomy. You must really learn as much as you can. So it's good to have a good, broad understanding of how the human body works. And because there are so many personal trainers now in certain geographic areas, it is not a bad idea to become an expert in a certain field. So that could be either arthritis, it could be Parkinson's disease, osteoporosis, something that you might be passionate about. Perhaps someone in your family has had the disease, and perhaps you've actually seen someone with MS and how a specialized exercise program has helped them. So I think that it's great to have that broad education, and it's necessary, but specializing, I think, makes you more valuable to the population. And with our aging population now, you will find so many of your clients, especially if you're working with people over 50 who do have a lot of the illness, a lot of these diseases. So you will make yourself more valuable.
That's great advice, definitely, to the new trainer, and then as you move along your path. So for you as a personal trainer, what's been your biggest challenge along the way?
Well, I would say the biggest challenge, and the challenge to this day, is that I thought by 2017 there would be a cancer exercise program with a whole team approach in every hospital, almost the way there is cardiac rehab. There is no, for the most part, there are hospitals that have cancer rehab, but not to the extent that we have cardiac rehab and other rehab. So, that is something that I've been pushing and advocating for, as have, other people. We are making progress. Some hospitals and cancer centers are going in that direction, but it's still not where it needs to be. So I would say that's been my biggest frustration. On the other hand, I have to be grateful that other that hospitals have allowed me to bring the program in and help so many people.
That's a big dream challenge that you're dealing with. That's a big
It is.
that's not a small challenge. So probably to you, the day-to-day challenges of being a personal trainer are not as illuminant as this bigger challenge that you're trying to advocate for, I would suppose.
And it's very complicated, because something like stroke rehab, cardiac rehab, complicated in its own way. It's it will always be difficult to have dedicated cancer rehab due to all the different types of cancers, different treatments, different stages. So it's quite more complicated and more permutations, but definitely doable. And I do look forward to the day when, if these things are not happening, at the hospital, that at least there will be more personal trainers out there that have the knowledge and expertise to help their clients.
Wow. Yeah, that makes me think, like, if you're a personal trainer and your biggest problem is that your client didn't show up, you're not taking on big enough challenges in your career. The biggest problem should be much bigger than that. That's just what I took away from that. Wow, like what you're doing, it makes those small problems seem really small. Like, we have much bigger challenges to face in our industry. So that's awesome. Is there anything that you would change about your fitness industry path, Carol?
Mm-hmm. You know what? I've been very, very, very fortunate to say that there really isn't a whole lot. One thing that I've kind of dabbled with in the past and still do is the thought about getting medical fitness and working with special populations covered by insurance because sadly right now for people who can't afford me and other fitness professionals that are not covered by insurance, it can be very, very challenging. But then again, that's why the small group way is such a great way to go. My clients are so thrilled to have that small group because it becomes very cost effective, especially for those who can't afford one-on-one training. So many people are wiped out by high medical costs when they have various diseases. So group training is a cost-effective way. In fact, some people are telling me that it's lower price than the price of a copay that they would have to pay if they went in for other type of treatments, physical therapy. So, so I always thought it would be great to be covered by insurance. But then on the other hand, if you can make it work without it, it's less paperwork and, you can look at everything, from 2 points of view.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to working with insurance. I'm sure of it.
Exactly. A lot of paperwork.
Well, as we wrap up today, you have such a well-established, long-running career with so many accomplishments and so much ahead of you. What advice do you have for new trainers who are just getting started and just trying to learn the basics?
Yes, it's the world of personal training, I would say, as a new person is more challenging than ever, due to all the competition. There's so many boutiques out there, and depending where you are geographically, the space can be very, very crowded. So the best thing that you can do for yourself is become as knowledgeable as possible, keep studying, keep learning, keep taking courses, keep taking those continuing education credits. And it's very good to connect with a mentor. One thing I like to mention to people who have taken my NFPT course is I will always be here to help you with any questions that do come up along the way. So it's great to have a mentor. It's also very important now to not only be knowledgeable and expert in the area, but remember you also, in a way, do have to be a marketing expert and have, good people skills, good communication skills, and almost be a salesperson of sorts. You can be the smartest person in the world. You can be an expert and know everything about a certain population or a certain type of training. But unless you can communicate this properly and unless you could promote this properly, let people know what your abilities are, then it'll be very difficult. So learn all you can and really figure out how to get the word out to everybody.
Yeah, learning, absolutely. Well, yeah, it's great to know that you're out there as a resource for trainers. And so everybody that's watching, if you didn't get the jive here, working with a special population is a great idea. And you could take Carol's courses to learn more about the populations that she works with osteoporosis and cancer. And if not, find a population that you're passionate about. And I just want to thank you, Carol, for sharing your wisdom and all your thoughts with us. Is there anything else you'd like to say before I wrap it up?
I just want to thank you for taking out your time to speaking with me. I really hope that, more people do focus in on these special populations. They really need your help.
Oh. Well, everyone, if you found this video helpful, please share it with other fitness professionals. A big thank you and round of applause to Carol. And get connected with NFPT on Facebook. Take that first step and keep in touch with us. And thanks for joining us with this video.
Thank you.